a little stark about this, I think we have to go to war against the anti-child ideology.
America's still going strong. So what the hell are you talking? Why would you even ask that retarded question? What's going on, my good people? Welcome back to Roll the Clip TV. I'm your host, Roberto. My brothers and sisters, I'm back on my political rant, y'all. For some reason, JD Vance keeps sticking his foot in his mouth. He has hoof and mouth syndrome. He has ignorant people syndrome. He has what my wife calls, when people cut her off on 85 in Georgia, dumbass syndrome. I think that he's single-handedly trying to piss off every woman in America. Y'all already know he made the cat lady statement. For those of you who don't know, let me roll this clip so y'all can see his original dumbass statement. Roll the clip.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies.
And so, after this, because he pissed so many people started to dig. And that's the one thing about America, is that social media, YouTube, cell phones will capture any moment in history. And for some reason, social media, I don't care if it's back in 1907, social media would not let it go. So they dug up another clip recently from JD Vance back in 2021. And I'm trying to establish that he is not a new idiot. He has always been this, it seems as though, chauvinistic kind of individual. Let me go on record to say this, my brothers and sisters, that there's a tolerance that I have for Donald Trump. I get it. Donald Trump got on TV and talked about they bring their rapists, they bring their guns, they bring their drugs. That's not new to us, America, because we've been watching Donald say crazy stuff forever. We saw him on The Apprentice. You're fired. We knew he wasn't all that bright on The Apprentice. We've been watching Donald do dumb stuff forever. For those of you who forgot, the tragedy back in the late 80s, early 90s, Central Park 5, it was Donald J. Trump that took the ad out in the newspaper to help send 5 black men to prison. Wrongfully, let me say, in prison. All I'm trying to say is Donald Trump ain't a new idiot. He's the same old guy that we've been watching for years. But this JD Vance guy is a new kind of special breed. So he made a comment recently on a podcast about millennials, childless millennials, and they need to be stopped. We need to be at war with them. He's attacking them. And he attacked one of the most decorated Olympians of all time, Simone Biles, with another retarded statement. My brothers and sisters, let me play this new clip from 2021. Roll the clip.
To invest in it is to ensure the next generation actually exists. So I think sending those signals via policy, but the cultural messaging and politicians is important. I also think, just to be a little stark about this, I think we have to go to war against the anti-child ideology. But I forget even what caused it, but there was this ridiculous effort by millennial feminist writers to talk about why having kids was not a good thing, why they were glad they didn't have kids, and even encouraging people who had children to talk about why they regretted having children, which of course is like
Mother's Day book.
on Mother's Day, which is like psychologically deranged. To ask mothers on Mother's Day is mediocre millennial journalists who haven't gotten out of their career what they thought they would, right? And the thing is, everybody can be an exceptional mother and father. Not everybody can be an exceptional journalist at the New York.
So, in our quest to make America great again, you are not going to, I said it before, I'm going to say it again, you are not going to make America great again by trashing women, by telling women, by calling people uneducated, or calling out the millennials, feminists who don't want to have kids. Women have a right to their bodies 1,000%. A man has no say so. If a woman does not want to have kids, she does not want to have kids. Hey, listen. Some of us, listen. Thank God I love my kids. I've shared this before on other podcasts. When I had my kids, I was young. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It was very, very hard. If I had to do it again, I would have did it a lot differently. I'm grateful for my children, y'all. But there's some, but there are some of them that put me through hell. There's some of them put me through hell, and I have PTSD because of that. And so looking back at it, I'm like, if I had to go back, you might not be here. Nevertheless, I know that. I know. As a parent, you shouldn't say that, but that's bull. There's a lot of parents who say to themselves, "F them grown-ass kids." Although I'm proud of my kids, I'm glad at what they're doing. There's no regrets, but I get it. There's some people who look into the future and say, "Hey, you know what? I want to be married. I want to do this, but I'm gonna get a dog and I'm gonna get a cat." Guess what, my brothers and sisters? That's their motherfucking right. That's their right. That's their right. But on the other side of the fence, the reason why I say that this guy is a dodo head, he's a dumbass, is because you have women out there, not like the millennials, but people like Gen X who may have wanted kids, who may have wanted to have biological kids, but just could not because medical reasons. And when you start calling out women, all these women gather together because you're lumping them in the same category. And so while he was trying to direct his comment to childless cat ladies, talking about VP Harris, every single woman in America jumped on board. Roller clip.
Sad, miserable, lonely day in my life as a child-free cat lady.
Women who have chosen not to have children are taking to social media in droves to slam Trump's running mates.
Childless cat lady summer.
When you go to the polls in this country as a parent, you should have more power. You should have more of an ability to speak your voice in our democratic republic than people who don't have kids.
How dare you try to tell me that I am lesser than? How dare you tell me that I have less rights and less voting rights than others?
Comedian Chelsea Handler is also piling on.
All of us childless cat and dog ladies are going to go from childless and crushing it to childless and crushing you in November.
Vance.
This is not a way to win an election, y'all. This is not how we win an election. Let me tell you, there are more women in the world than there are men. There are more women in the world than there are men. And I said this in my last podcast about JD Vance, that although you see these women holding up signs, you don't know who you're offending. Brother, JD, you don't know who you're offending. Stop, just go a different direction. Talk about how you going to lower groceries or how you going to fight inflation. I'm telling you now, you need to leave the women alone. And this is why I say I think we've had enough testosterone in the White House. We've had this kind of theological. You have men sitting down to pass laws about what women should do with their bodies. That's not our right, my brothers. That's not our right. That's their right. The same way they have no right to our body. Actually, women probably have more right to our bodies than we have to their bodies, simply because they produce offspring. Of course, they need us. Actually, it gets to a point where some of them don't even need us no more to do that. Y'all know what I mean. Anyway, we have no right to their bodies. That's why I'm saying I think we need a changing of the guard, because this arrogance, to me, is arrogance. You're sitting on these podcasts, you're making these statements, and listen. I don't know if you remember, but I showed you. He was talking to a reporter via text message, and the reporter decided to out him several years ago, and he got some racial issues. For those of you who did not see my last one on JD, roll the clip.
Messaged something completely different for his political aspirations. He wrote, again, back in 2016, "But I'm not surprised by Trump's rise, and I think the entire party has only itself to blame. We are, whether we like it or not, the party of lower income, lower education white people, and I have been saying for a long time that we need to offer those people something, and hell, maybe even expand our appeal to working class black people in the process." Woo, wow.
JD is and I saw his wife. His wife seems to be Indian, so she is a darker. So I ain't gonna call him a racist. I'm gonna say my man got issues. He got some issues. Whether it's class issues, racial issues, he has some issues. And we do not want to see those issues on full display, under full power, under a new president. I think it's wrong. He also had words yesterday to say about Simone Biles, about her breakdown several years ago. Roll a freaking clip.
Did she let down the country, do you think?
Well, I think obviously it's understandable that she was going through an incredible amount of pressure. What I find so weird about this, and it reflects more on the media than it does on Simone Biles, is that we've tried to turn a very tragic moment, Simone Biles quitting the Olympic team, into this act of heroism. And I think it reflects pretty poorly on our sort of therapeutic society that we try to praise people not for moments of strength, not for moments of heroism, but for their weakest moments. And look, being an athlete is tough. Being an athlete at that level is incredibly tough. A normal response in this moment would be to say, it's just a shame that she's going through this. It's a shame that she quit. Mm-hmm. But instead, what our press has done, I think, is turn this into this weird therapeutic moment. Let's praise her for doing this. And I think that's really where the problem here in lies.
My brothers and sisters, we're talking about one of the most... First, let me say this. This is why I think his comment was so stupid. Is because if she was having a breakdown, I believe that we should celebrate strength, and I believe we should celebrate weakness. One of the issues with I think in America is that we're showing so much strength. People flossing, people driving cars, everybody balling. They up in the club spending dollars, spending that money, right? But nobody's weak no more. So now we're creating a whole kind of other mental disorder. Now everybody feels like they got to be strong. My brothers, there are times when I am driving in the car alone and I break down crying. There are times when I'm in front of my wife, when I'm watching a movie and it touches me and tears stream down my face. There are times when I got to tell myself that's enough. I can't take no more. I got to turn the camera off, the TV off, my phone off. I don't want to talk to nobody. I go on my shell. Listen, and as Americans, as people in the world, we have the right to shut down. She had every right to stop. I don't think the media was praising her because she had a breakdown. But I believe that especially in our the suicide rate in our young people is ridiculous right now because of the peer pressure, because of the social media. So if a young person decides, hey, before I hurt myself or hurt somebody else, I'm gonna pull out of this. We need to applaud that. We need to see more of that so that we all know that in America we're human. I think between the plastic surgery, between the scammers, between the hip hop videos and the fake jewelry being rented, between the fake eyelashes, the fake butts, the fake hair, the dudes in the gym. Men trying to say how they just take care of their wife so well and it's just all magical. I think we need to do away with that narrative. And so the reason why I don't like what he said is because we need to see somebody saying, hey, I give up, I gotta stop, and I'll be back. Because look at the comeback. Look, she's calling this her redemption tour. She's destroying the Olympics right now almost perfectly because she bowed out a couple of years ago. She was able to see a therapist, get her mind. Why not see a therapist? Some of us got to get help. Some of us need help. And we run from these issues instead of getting help. I know people that have gotten help in their relationship and their marriages, and they've been better off. Before I got married, y'all, I proposed to my wife. I'm loud. I'm sorry. JD Vance pisses me off, so I'm kind of yelling, y'all. My bad. I proposed to my wife, and back in 2000. This is going back almost 10 years ago, 11 years ago. And our original date was in like April, and I started to like get cold feet, So she, and she was very understanding. She's like, "Look, I ain't rushing you." And my wife never rushed me. Thank God, she never rushed me. She never gave me the ultimatums. And I just said, she said, well, maybe you need to talk to somebody. So I did. I went to go see a therapist in Jersey. I did all the talking, right? So I'm sitting down, I'm talking to the therapist, and she's asking me questions about my childhood, blah, blah, blah. And so she said, well, what are you most afraid of in a new marriage? She says, do you love her? I said, oh, absolutely I love her. I said, I am afraid to get used again. And she said, what do you mean? So I began to talk about it. Y'all got to go watch another video about my subject X. I'm not going to get into that on this particular podcast. That's a podcast that needs all its own title, thumbnail, and everything. Nevertheless, subject X. And so as I was going through all these different phases of my life, from 1992 to what was 2014 at the time. By the time I got to the end of it, I realized I was projecting. I was just scared because the last time I got burned, Subject X burnt me. As a matter of fact, Subject X burnt me so bad, I felt like the fire was still lit, y'all. For those of you who've ever been burned in a relationship, you already know. I ain't talking about sexual burn either. I'm talking about used and abused to serve like, and one day you found, never mind, I won't go to school, y'all. So once I got through the therapy session, I was excited. I walked out. I'm like, babe, I love you. Let's get married. Let's go. I would have did it that day. Anyway, we scheduled a date. August the 15th. We'll be married 9 years this coming August. And it was a blessing. So all I'm saying is that at times we need to seek therapy. We need to seek help. And this dude making this comment about celebrating only the strong, and I'm kind of mixing his words up a little bit, but he should have just said, hey, look, as the VP, as a vice president who's going to be in charge of the entire world, America, young people need to know if it's overwhelming, you need to back the hell out. Sit your butt down and go get help. You think all these mass shootings are going on because the kids are getting help? No. It's because they're being ignored. So if this young lady decided to get help, you should have said on that particular newscast, she made the absolute right. And no, it was not a tragedy to America. No, it didn't let America down. No, America's America. America is still going strong. America is still going strong. So what the hell are you talking? Why would you even ask that retarded question? The news reporter, do you think she let? No, she didn't let America down. It's American history. We all give up. We all cave in. We all want to quit. It's called real freaking life. And if we live, I'm preaching, y'all. Thank you for checking out Road Clip TV. I support Simone Biles is killing it right now. I love to see black excellence, my brothers and sisters. I love to see excellence of all sorts. Thank y'all for checking out Road Clip TV. I think y'all understand I can't stand JD Vance. I have no support for him whatsoever. None whatsoever. No. Trump is a different kind of special individual. My bad, Trump. You should have chose a different running mate. Should have chose Hillary. Thank y'all for checking out Road Clip TV. I'll be back with another one real soon. Peace.
Got something to say. Hey, you got something to say.